Yes, the Casanovians. Yes, the Casanovians. So I just had this conversation with myself. I wanted to bring you onto the conversation as well. And I was thinking, the craziest thing about life is you only realize you made the wrong decisions when it's too late. Yeah, and I think today more people are concerned with being right than being successful. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to go deep on this live stream around a peculiar topic that I notice is quite applicable to what we're doing, which is going out there, taking radical action, approaching women who we want to date, two middle finger salute to a society that wants to keep you shackled. You already know by now that daytime cold approach is the most aggressive form of self-development. Yeah, it's not about going out being some low-value pickup dude, parading around the shopping malls for 8 hours a day talking to nobody. No, it's the most aggressive form of self-development. It's going after what you want rather than settling for what you think you can get. It's a two middle finger salute to a society that wants to keep you shackled. It's saying to the world, this is me, take it or leave it. This is what I believe in. And understand when you're going out there and you are cold approaching, even though it's okay and it's normal to have those doubts and the apprehension and the fear of, oh, what are people going to think of me? What if I get rejected? What if cold approach doesn't work for somebody like me? I get all of that. And these are the same limiting beliefs that my clients experience before we work together one-on-one, and they become a member of my private community, the Entourage. I've worked with over 200 guys now. Yeah, Japanese guys, Indian guys, black guys, guys in their 50s, guys in their 20s, 30s, 40s, guys who thought they were too old, guys who thought they were too young, guys who thought they couldn't attract women because they were bald or because they'd left it too long or worried, oh, what if my colleagues see me approaching? All of these things. And I've seen what can happen when you essentially just allow yourself to live, yeah? Rather than fearing, oh, what if this makes me look cringe, right? And I don't know, man, I've just found that the only way I've got to where I've got to today, and please go back and watch the oldest videos on my channel, and you can see how much of a cretin I used to be. I looked like I used to have a squirrel on my head. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I struggled, like violently struggled, getting the women that I wanted. Even if I did get women back to my place, my dick didn't work. So I spent the rest of the evening crying into my heart-shaped pillow, looking on Reddit, like, how to overcome erectile dysfunction. And I think the only reason why I can be so hyper transparent on these streams is I learned to let go a long time ago of things that no longer serve me. Yeah. I think when I see other people who are creating cold approach content, or even for myself, when I post videos, usually there will be a portion of the audience who are saying things like, oh, this is so cringe. Oh, so cringe, dude. Oh, I can't even watch this. It's so cringe. Like what you're doing, like going over to women. Oh, it's so cringe. And it's like, the thing that gets most guys, or the thing that keeps most guys stuck, is this fear of what the rest of the world are gonna think of them. Yeah. So if you're watching this and maybe you have these empire visions for your life, maybe you know that you want to go out, you want to cold approach women, you want to make an international lifestyle, you want to make money online, you want to be able to travel the world, you want to be able to attract hotter women, get into elite physical condition. Maybe you want to leave your hometown or the current social circle that you've got. Maybe these guys are dragging you down because people want to see you do well. They don't want to see you do better than them because it holds a mirror up to who they could have been. And understand as well, like, hate will never come from above. It always comes from below, right? These morons who comment things like, oh, this is so cringe. I would never do that. Why would you do this, dude? Oh, it's so cringe. This is so embarrassing. It's like, these are the low-life losers who never do anything, who never accomplish anything because they're more concerned with preservation than recreation, right? They're more concerned with saving face than saving themselves, yeah? And what I found to be true in my own life is because I remember, as many of you will know, when I first got started with daytime cold approach, I'd already spent a decade of my life as a magician, right? So I became a magician at 13 years old because I had terrible social anxiety. I was terrified of just talking to people. I was scared of putting my hand up to answer questions in the classroom because I used to break out into these weird sweating fits when I got put on the spot to answer questions. I didn't have any friends growing up. My best friend was my aunt, who I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 with after school. Rust. Represent. So I was a low-life loser, and I saw magic in the same way that you might be viewing something like daytime cold approach right now. Because look, let's be real. Everybody gets started with daytime cold approach because you want to attract hotter women. Yeah, that's the reason why we get into daytime cold approach in the first place. You want to attract hotter women who are screaming your name every single night. Yeah, you want your neighbors banging on your door, being like, you're too loud. You want your friends who are asking you for dating advice. You want to be the James Bond character, yeah, having more high quality options than you know what to do with. You want to be living this rock star abundant dating life where you can just rock up to any city and build and have this abundant rock star dating life. Like, you want these things, but usually what happens is you get clawed back into the comfort quicksand of complacency, marinating in the matrix of mediocrity, because you're scared, oh, what if I embarrass myself? What if I get publicly humiliated? Yeah. And I think that fear of public humiliation is super strong. But I remember when I was learning magic, after about 6 or 7 years, I started posting videos on Instagram of me performing magic. Because in the early days, nobody in my school knew that I was learning magic. I didn't want anybody to know. Magic was almost like my dirty little secret. I was worried that if people knew that I was a magician, then they would poke fun at me at school. And it's not like I was bullied growing up. I was just irrelevant. Yeah. If you ask anybody who I went to school with, do you remember Christian? They'd probably be like, who? The fuck's that? You know, so I was just like the ugly duckling in school. Do you know what I mean? I never got attention. I'm an only child as well. So I was pretty much my own best friend growing up, aside from my aunts. So I didn't have a lot going for me. And I remember when I first came out the closet in regards to magic, and I started posting, I used to have my Instagram page. I used to do these Instagram lives where I would perform magic on Instagram lives to basically show off my skills, right? And what happened one day was I was doing this Instagram live, and people who I went to high school with, they found out about this stream because my Instagram was connected to my Facebook. So all of my high school friends who I had on Facebook, they all flooded towards this Instagram live. And I noticed names pop up on the stream that I recognized from school. These are people that I'd never really spoke with. It was kind of like, you know, at school you have like the popular kids, and for whatever reason, people just like them. You know, maybe they're good at sports, maybe they've got some quirky ability, maybe they were tall, maybe they were just like super good looking. I was none of these things. I was just the ugly duckling. I was always the last to get picked on the sports teams. I really lacked strong belief in myself for many, many years, which I think people don't really see that today. I think people come across my content now, and aside from thinking, oh, this is cringe, this is so embarrassing, I think they think, oh, this guy's just an obnoxious arsehole. Yeah, oh, this guy looks good, so that's why he's confident. But it's like, no, motherfucker, like, you weren't there when I was 13 years old, when I was just going through the mud, when I was trying to work things out one day at a time, when I was like, fuck, I don't think I'm cut out for this. I used to think social skills was something that you were just born with. Yeah, I used to tell myself that I had social anxiety, and I realized I just lacked practice, right? Anxiety is not an illness, it's an emotion, yeah? And I remember on this Instagram live, all these names that I recognized, they were basically all just like poking fun at me. Like, I was doing this Instagram live, like showing off my magic skills. And I saw all these cretins in the comments, like just poking fun or tagging other friends from my high school who would come over, watch the live, just be like, lol, cringe, what's Christian doing? This is so embarrassing. And I remember it got to me. I felt sad. I was like, oh, this is shit. Like, I just wanted to share my gift to the world. And now I feel as though I'm being ostracized. Because I think that's the thing. I think as guys, we don't really care if somebody calls us an arsehole, right? Oh, that guy's a dick, that guy's an arsehole. If women call you that, it's usually a good sign, right? It's usually a good sign for women if a woman's like, oh, I don't like that guy, he's an arsehole or he's a dick. But I think what really penetrates us as men is when we get the commentary of, oh yeah, that guy's weird, that guy's creepy, that guy just, there's something about him which just gives me the ick, yeah? So I think this fear of public humiliation runs deep, and it makes sense as well. Because if you think back to the tribal days, if you were to do something like daytime call approach, back when the dinosaurs were shagging each other, you know, if you were to approach a woman in the caveman days and she was like, no thank you, it would have meant that your DNA wasn't worthy of replication. So it would have signaled metaphorical death for your bloodline. And then if the rest of the tribe found out that you got rejected, then it's essentially social isolation. It's the death of your bloodline, right? And what I found to be true when I'm working with my guys and I'm teaching them something like daytime call approach, we've brought those prehistoric fears into the modern world. So now when we see that beautiful woman, and you might feel that invisible wall of resistance that's keeping you stuck to the spot, is because your animalistic brain is trying to save you from death. But now it's not actual death. Now it's ego death, right? And the reason that I found why so many guys don't live the dating lives that they want, the reason why so many guys watch content like this and never do anything with it is because they're terrified of being cringe. They're terrified of looking like an idiot. They're terrified of, what if my friends find out? What if other people who I don't know find out? What if I approach this girl and that guy who's drinking a can of Coke, what if he sees me getting rejected? But if there's one thing that I can give to you, having coached over 200 guys, the art of learning daytime approach, having been a magician for a decade, doing my very first daytime call approach in Leeds City Centre on the 4th of July 2020, the best thing that I can say to you is accept that it probably is going to be cringy at the start, but being cringy has got me laid more than anything else that I can attribute that to. Like, I've got a beautiful girlfriend right now. I've had relationships in the past where those relationships, they didn't transpire into what I wanted them to because I felt myself holding back in these relationships. Yeah, I wanted to present myself in a certain way. I think this is a problem now with the internet, especially the men's dating advice online, especially if you're following things like the red pill content. Oh, I need to be this high value giga chat. I need to be this perfect robot. You know, never look like a fool, never look like a tit. Oh no, I need to be serious. I need to be this high value guy who has no flaws, who has no mistakes. That's not real life, dude. That's not real life. Like, real life is messy, it's chaotic, and you're not as perfect as you present yourself to be. And something that I learned the hard way is eventually the mask slips. Yeah, eventually she realizes you are not the version of yourself who you presented at the start. And that's why the system that I created, anti-game artistry, it's attraction through authenticity, because honesty is the greatest aphrodisiac. Yeah, rather than trying to save face, rather than trying to hide certain parts of your personality that you think are going to make you ugly and you're not going to be able to receive love from the feminine. Because that's why most guys are frustrated. Most guys are frustrated because they currently lack love from the feminine. And in order to get the things that they want, they need to risk not being able to do it. Yeah, because the first time you do anything, it's going to be fucking cringe. Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Like, if you go back and watch the oldest videos on my channel, the feedback that I was getting in the early days was, oh, dude, this is so cringe. Like, why are you going out there? You look like a turnip. You're dressing like a moron. You look like you've got a ferret stuck to your head. Why are you even cold approaching? Oh, no, dude, this is so cringe. And it's like, yeah, of course it's fucking cringe. Like, most things are cringe, yeah? Like, watching myself back on camera is cringe, yeah? When I watch these live streams back, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like I wasn't happy how I said that. Oh shit, what if people think I'm cringe? But one of the best reframes that I've got, and this is, if you understand this will genuinely change the trajectory of your life. And you know, if you're someone right now and you want to feel more confident. You want to attract hotter women. You want to make more money, right? Well, that's going to contain elements of risk, okay? So we've already established, in order to become great at anything, you have to risk not being able to do it. And the first time is usually the worst time, right? So you might as well overcome that as fast as possible. This is what power is, right? My definition of power isn't about being able to bench press a fucking walrus. My definition of power is minimizing the time between thought and action, yeah? Because the most powerful men, they minimize the time between thought and action. Think of an omnipotent being like God, right? In the beginning, there was the word. He says it, boom, it's done, right? So minimizing the time between thought and action. But for most guys, because they have this deep-seated fear of being cringe, of embarrassing themselves, of looking like a guy that, oh yeah, what's that guy doing? What, you know, like, oh, what's he even thinking? Like, why is he even trying this stuff? Oh shit, no, I don't want to be cringe. Like, if you can learn to minimize the time between thought and action and just say fuck it, just give yourself permission to suck at the start, then this is huge. But the thing that I really wanted to make you aware of is the version of you who's watching this stream now, right? Me and you, the version of you who I'm speaking to today, it's going to be a different version of you 1, 2, 3 years from now, okay? So the reason why, I say one of my biggest strengths is future projection, right? When I was living that grotty apartment in Central East, I had £24.82 of universal credit, porn addict, erectile dysfunction, looked like a turnip, dressed like a moron, no woman wanted to fuck me. My biggest superpower was future projection, right? It was looking into the future, meeting the version of myself who I wanted to be, making my actions align with my ambitions, and then reverse engineering it. I've got a full step-by-step breakdown. If you're someone and you want to rewire your entire internal belief system, if you want to overcome those self-limiting beliefs and that negative self-talk that I guarantee, if you're watching this, is probably castrating you of your confidence right now, then just type in Christian Casanova most fuckable man course. That's a free course that you can download, and it basically walks you through my process in the module titled Mindset Mastery. So it's a free course, you might as well download it. But future projection. So if we take something like daytime cold approach, which terrifies the living shit out of most guys. Like most men are not going to do daytime cold approach. They don't have the balls, or they don't think they have the balls to do it. They have so many reasons why, yeah? And this is ego, by the way. It's like, oh, if I did this, it would go bad, yeah? Well, congratulations. It's like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right either way, yeah? Even if it's not true, we make it true by believing in it. Yeah. So if you're thinking to yourself right now, oh, I can't cold approach because I'm an introvert, or I suck with women, or because it's creepy, or because I'm going to make myself cringe. Well, that's probably going to be true because you believe it to be true. Yeah. But if you understand from this future projection mindset, the version of you that gets rejected today, or the version of you that is cringe today, it's not going to be the same version of you 2 years from now. And this is how you can give yourself permission to suck, how you can give yourself permission to fail, how you can give yourself permission to be free. It's understanding that you're developing. Yeah, this is something that I teach to my clients. Every evolution that we make, it forces us to step into bigger shoes. So now I can look back at my older content from 5 years ago and be like, that's actually kind of funny. Like, I actually love to see how much I've developed. But if you understand that the version of you that goes out there today, even if you create a piece of content, or you cold approach a woman, or you do a sales call, even if it all goes shit, even if you get rejected, even if it is cringe, which it probably will be, you just understand that it's part of the progression. Yeah, you have to suck, you have to cringe, you have to embarrass yourself from time to time. And I think something that I've learned is being fully at peace with the perceived worst case scenarios is how you overcome all of these invisible obstacles, yeah? Because if you understand that the worst case scenario of you going out today and complimenting a woman, the worst case scenario is she is like, nah, I don't want to copulate with you. All right, fine. You're still alive, you're still breathing, you're not gonna get ostracized from the tribe. Now, does this mean that cold approach is for everybody? No, I've made the point on so many pieces of content that Cold approach is a hyperbolizer, meaning it will exaggerate who you currently are. So if you've got man boobs, if you stink, if you've got terrible social skills, then cold approach is going to make you more weird. Because it's a socially unorthodox skill, if you're walking over to women in central London and you've got man boobs, you stink, you haven't shaved in 5 years, your social skills are atrocious, you can't read verbal cues, you don't know what you don't know, then cold approach is going to make you more weird. You're probably going to get a bad reputation for yourself. So for fuck's sake, get the basics taken care of, right? Common sense is not common practice. But really, the people that I speak to on these streams, you are probably a guy who maybe you're over the age of 30, maybe you are a high-performing professional and you're not quite sure how to translate your professional success into dating success. You've probably got solid social skills. You're probably working on yourself. You're maybe building a business. You are consistent at the gym. Maybe you're learning a martial art. Let's just say you're working on yourself. Let's say you are a solid guy. Cold approach is going to hold a spotlight up to that, and it's actually going to make you more attractive, right? The feedback that you'll get from women is, oh, this is amazing. I wish more people would do this. I love your confidence, right? So this is how you know that cold approach is for you. Some guys, like, they shouldn't be cold approaching. They need to get their lives in order first. But I'm going to assume that you've got the common sense to understand that. Okay, so all you really need to overcome is this fear of, oh, what if it's cringe, right? And if you watch this live stream back multiple times, I've already gave you the framework for understanding this. And as well, in 100 years' time, none of this is going to fucking matter. Like one of my favorite quotes or passages is from Shakespeare, Macbeth, Act 5, Scene 3. And the quote is, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. And when I first read that quote, it just sent just chills down my spine. I was like, fuck me. In certain plays, Shakespeare's fucking boring, but in Macbeth, he knew something. He knew something about human existence, right? Because we spend so much time strutting and fretting our hour upon the stage. An hour. This is in the grand scheme of things, in this zoomed out perspective, we have such a finite amount of time on this planet. And I remember reading a long time ago, I think it's like the 5 regrets of the dying, you know, like when people are on their deathbed and they're speaking to the palliative or whatever they're called, the nurses that look after people as they're about to fucking crocate. And one of those regrets was, I wish I hadn't cared so much about what other people thought of me. And I think it's quite difficult to internalize these lessons until something happens in our lives which causes us to reevaluate everything, you know? And I think this is what it usually takes. I think it takes guys to get to this position where they're just pissed off, yeah? They hit this rock bottom moment. It's like this rock bottom renaissance where it's like, no more. You know, I'm sick of being a loser. I'm sick of not actualizing my potential. I'm sick of letting opportunities go by. I'm sick of caring so much what these bozos think of me. And a mindset that has always served me as well. This is really niche and weird. I don't think you'll find anybody else who gives you this advice, but it's worked for me. It worked for me when I was a magician, or when I was trying to be one. I used to have this whole like approach anxiety. Like I was scared of approaching women and approaching people, specifically women actually. I was just scared of approaching people because I was scared of the trick going wrong, or them thinking this guy's weird, or like, why has he got a deck of cards in his pocket? Like, is there something wrong with this guy? A mindset that I accidentally learned this, and I realized it actually had a name and there was a lot of philosophical thought behind it, was the notion of solipsism. I don't know if you've heard it, but like solipsism is this belief that only the self is real. So like a great mindset you can have, if you're worried about being cringe or what people are going to think of me, or what if I do this cold approach and it goes shit, solipsism is this belief that everybody else in the world is like an NPC or non-playable character, right? And it's like, just imagine as a thought experiment that you were the only conscious being on this planet. Right? Imagine that nobody else was real, and it's like The Sims. You've got full reign to create, yeah? Because I guess an easier way of installing that into your mind is, imagine you're in Amsterdam and you see a homeless guy who's got his knob out and he's dancing naked in the street, right? You're probably going to think, that's weird. And then you're probably going to go back to your life and stressing about whatever you're stressing about. So usually what I would do when I was performing magic is I would put myself in the minds of these other people who I didn't think were real. And I was like, well, worst case scenario, they can't feel what I feel. So why am I allowing myself to feel it, right? Because the thing is as well, like that's solipsism, by the way. It's just this belief that only the self is real. You don't need to believe in it permanently, but I think as a thought experiment, if you just imagine going out today and no one else is real, like you are the only living being, you've been put on this planet by some divine being to actualize your potential, and then maybe you'll turn into a narwhal when all is said and done. But if you can understand, especially with something like daytime approach, let's just say if other guys see you approaching, they're either jealous or they respect it. And if other women see you approach, and remember, this is acting under the impression that you are a well put together guy, right? Again, if you are the guy who's got moobs, who stinks, who hasn't shaved for years, your social skills are terrible, then please don't cold approach, right? Because people are probably going to call the fucking police on you. And you won't hear people online say this stuff, but it just needs to be said. Like, cold approach is not for everybody. And also, cold approach is not for the faint of heart as well. You know, like, once you have become a solid dude, it more becomes about your balls, yeah? It's really for the mavericks. It's for the renegades. It's for the pirates. It's for the guys who don't want to accept the status quo. The guys who view this as, yeah, this is an incredible tool to attract hotter women, but also it's an amazing way to just level up the rest of your life. Like that rock star confidence that you build by doing something that most guys are never going to have the balls to do because they think it's cringe. These are the exact skills which will allow you to blow up your business, perform better on sales calls. It will be the skill which allows you to feel more respect, to walk into rooms and have this instantaneous, grounded gravitas where men want to be you, women want to do you. It's like, it's just nice. It feels great. And it is developed on the streets by accepting that, yeah, this might be cringe. It might be a little bit fucking weird. I might embarrass myself. Like, dude, I think a lot of times as well, we just need to get out of our own fucking way. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably not as attractive as you think you are. You probably need to get humbled. You probably need to have your ego dissipated. And this is kind of like the deeper why behind cold approach for me. It's this final frontier of self-development, right? Yeah, sure, you can red light therapy, you can gratitude journal, you can do your midnight meditations, or you could just go get rejected 10 times in a row. You can get humbled. You can realize that you're not as fuckable as you thought you were. And I think that's an incredible thing. I think it's a modern day rite of passage. And I think the final thing that I'd like to leave you with is really, where are you holding back in your life because you're worried about the opinions of other people? Yeah, when have you had moments where you've wanted to do something? Maybe it's learn a martial art, maybe it's learn an instrument, maybe it's go out there and start cold approaching. But how many times have you been held back by that voice of fear? That fear of, oh, this is going to be cringe. Like, as I'm making this live stream now, like my nose is slightly weird, so I keep going like that. I'm kind of rushing between loads of different thoughts, so maybe the stream is not that coherent. I'm talking about things. Maybe people don't like me. Maybe people have switched off. Maybe people think, oh, this guy's got a weird haircut. This guy's got a big nose. This guy's got wrinkles on his forehead. Like, dude, I'm too far gone now to care. You know, I've just accepted every part of myself. You know, like I've gone through the whole thing of being so deeply insecure that I came out the other side. This has just been through a lot of radical action, you know, doing shit that terrifies me. Like out here in Bangkok, like, you know, I've been training Muay Thai now in Thailand for the past year. And dude, the resistance that I felt towards going to that Muay Thai gym for the first time was astronomical. Yeah, I was like, fuck, what if I'm the worst person there? What if people laugh at me? What if I can't even throw a punch or land a kick? Oh, what if I get laughed out the gym? What if I feel intimidated? What if people look at me weird? What if they don't like my personality? What if they don't like my haircut? What if they just think I'm weird? Like, what if I fail, you know? I get it. Like, every time I do something new, I hit that wall of resistance. But I think I've done it so many times now that I understand belief follows action, right? You know, I could spend years ruminating in my bedroom about cold approach or learning martial arts or traveling to new countries. Or I could just do the thing, understanding that belief will follow action, accepting that it may be cringe, accepting that I might get laughed at, accepting that 100 years' time, no one's going to give a flying fuck anyway. It's all going to be space, dust, and ashes. And I think that mindset has just allowed me to get through some very dark places in my life. Like I say, I've gone through that period in my life of having erectile dysfunction, being addicted to porn. I've gone through seasons of my life when I was growing up as a kid because I had no male masculine role model in my life. So I was watching a lot of porn. I was comparing my bodies to these stallions on screen. I was thinking, oh fuck, my dick's too small. I'm never going to be able to please a woman. Oh, my body is not like their bodies. So I'm going to be lonely. I'm going to be sad for the rest of my life. Oh, what if I don't live up to expectations? Like, what if I can't do things? Like, what if I fail? You know, usually when I speak with people and they're interested in working with me, I usually find that somebody's fear of not investing into themselves is this fear that it might not work. Yeah, this is something that I hear a lot. Like when you actually go through the weeds and you get to the real reason why somebody might be resistant to something like cold approach coaching or learning a martial art or starting a new vocation, this fear pops up into their minds oftentimes, and they might not even be aware of it in the moment. But there's this fear that what if this doesn't work? Yeah, what if I try and learn cold approach and it doesn't work? Yeah, what if I invest thousands of dollars into learning this new skill and it doesn't work? Yeah, because maybe they tried to learn an instrument when they were younger, but it didn't go that well. Or maybe they tried to solve the Rubik's Cube at 16 years old and their father shamed them because they couldn't do it in record time. Or maybe they had a lot of pressure put on them by their families to get the best grades and they couldn't live up to that expectation. They carry all of these fears of not being worthy into their adult lives. So then when it comes down to learning something like daytime approach, which takes balls, it takes character, it takes a certain type of individual to really go the full way with this, those thoughts can pop up into their minds in the same way that those prehistoric concerns of being rejected and ostracized from the tribe can still come up today when we want to go over and talk to a beautiful woman. But the greatest reframe that I've had in my life so far is all of this works as long as you do. Yeah? It works as long as you do, Christian. Yeah? So you might be scared that you can't make a career out of cold approach. You might be scared of getting rejected. You might fear that investing thousands of dollars into this business mentor, you might worry it doesn't work. But if I can take that responsibility on for myself, and if I can say to myself, well, this is going to work as long as I do. Yeah, I understand there's no guarantees in life. Something like cold approach, especially if you work with me, I make people aware, dude, it's not a magic bullet. It's not a quick fix. You ain't just going to send money to me and instantly your life has changed. No, that's stupid. The money gives you access. It gives you accountability. It gives you community. It gives you coaching. But at the end of the day, a personal trainer can't lift the weight for you. You could pay $15,000 a year for the world's best personal trainer. But if you want to stuff your face with Krispy Kreme at 11 p.m. on a rainy Thursday, he can't do anything about it. So you need to want this, yeah? And you need to change, and you need to have this obsession with progression, this burning desire inside of you to say that, yeah, cool, it might be cringe, I might suck at the start, but I'm prepared not to do my best, to do what is necessary, yeah? So if you're watching this and maybe you're scared of what other people are going to think, you're scared of being cringe, you're scared of embarrassing yourself, you're scared of fucking up and looking like a failure, cool, embrace it. Yeah, that's got me to where I am today. It's just by saying, yeah, a big fuck you to the world. Fuck you to my own ego. Fuck you to the self-limiting thoughts I have. Because if people are judging you, yeah, then it usually is a reflection of them. Yeah. So if you're watching this stream and maybe you want to leave some like nasty comment or post some random shit and be like, oh yeah, this is so cringe, or ha ha ha, what a loser. It's always a reflection of these people. These are the people who are eating Chuck E. Cheese, playing World of Warcraft. They put more emphasis on leveling up the fucking forest elf than leveling up the dating life. So you don't even need to concern yourself with the opinion of these losers, right? The opinions of people who you should respect are people who are further ahead than you. Yeah, this is what we do in my coaching, the entourage. So all the guys who work with me, they get personalized one-on-one coaching where I just install the skill of daytime call approach into them so they can start getting dates on demand with wife-worthy women, and they become part of a network, the entourage. Yes, we have in-person worldwide meetups, weekly group coaching calls, access to a private WhatsApp accountability group, so it's like having wingmen in your pockets. But when guys join the entourage, they get surrounded by guys who are further ahead than them, but also used to be in the exact position that they're in right now. Yeah. So maybe you've got a lot of fear. Maybe you're worried this might not work. Maybe you're thinking, oh, this whole thing's a scam. Oh, I can't trust anybody. Everyone who's gone through my coaching has felt these exact same things, but they just took action anyway. Yeah. It's the whole blessings on your courage, boy. That's the way to the stars. And I think for anybody who is curious about working with me, then I've left a link below this video. It's to my testimonials page. So if you want to actually see the proof of what happens when guys work with me, then I put a link underneath. It's like see the proof or see proof here. Just so you can see I'm not talking out my ass. Evidence has got the loudest voice. But I would say the greatest piece of evidence that I've stacked, like what actually happens when you just rate yourself, when you actually just go for it, when you actually show yourself that your limitations are hallucinations, because the way you start is not the way you finish. I think the greatest evidence that I've stacked is my own progress. Again, this whole channel is a catalog of content which it documents the chronology of who I was and who I am today. Yeah. So if you don't think you're good enough, if you think you're ugly, if you think you're a fucking 4 out of 10 looks wise, just go back, watch the oldest videos on my channel, and you can see how much of a low life loser I used to be. And you can see what happens when you just say, fuck it, and just start doing shit. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just wanted to get this off my chest. So I don't know if it's going to be that coherent. I don't know if it's useful. I don't know if it's valuable, but these live streams feel more like therapy for me. I think it's just nice to come on here to shoot the shit. I've got no idea who you are. I've got no idea when you're listening to this, but if I've said one thing that has been valuable in this stream, then that's cool. Drop it a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and yeah, maybe watch this live stream back a few times if you're somebody who's worried about being cringe or embarrassing yourself in public. No one gives a flying fuck, and the people that do, what's that Dr. Seuss? I'd like to end on that Dr. Seuss quote. It's like, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind. Yeah, that's like a great ZFG or zero fucks given mentality. Dr. Seuss, legend. Fucking hell, he'd be absolutely cleaning up with Cold Approach. Anyway, boys, I love you very much. I'll speak to you again soon. And no, that's it.